Welcome to Frontiers of Research. I'm Antoni, and today we're exploring one of the most consequential technological horizons facing humanity, the development of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, and the potential emergence of superintelligence. Joining me are Sarah, a computer scientist specializing in machine learning and AI safety, and Josh, who studies the ethical and philosophical implications of advanced technologies. Together, we'll examine the current state of AI research, predictions about when we might achieve human-level artificial intelligence and beyond, and the profound questions this raises for our future as a species. Let's start with some definitions. Sarah, could you explain what we mean by AGI and superintelligence, and how these differ from the AI systems we have today?
Today's artificial intelligence systems are what we call narrow or weak AI. They're designed to perform specific tasks within well-defined domains. Even the most advanced language models, image recognizers, or game-playing AIs excel only in their specialized areas. For example, an AI that can beat world champions at chess can't drive a car or understand a joke without being explicitly programmed for those tasks. Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI, represents something fundamentally different. AGI would possess the ability to understand, learn, and apply knowledge across a wide range of domains at a level comparable to human intelligence. It would be able to transfer learning from one area to entirely different contexts, display common-sense reasoning, and adapt to new and unforeseen circumstances. In essence, AGI would match or exceed human cognitive abilities across virtually all intellectually demanding tasks. Superintelligence takes this concept further. As defined by philosopher Nick Bostrom, a superintelligence would be an intellect that greatly exceeds the cognitive performance of humans in virtually all domains of interest. This could emerge through various pathways, by creating systems that can recursively improve their own intelligence, recursive self-improvement, by massively scaling computational resources, or through other breakthrough methods. What makes superintelligence particularly significant is that it could potentially solve problems that are currently beyond human capabilities, from curing diseases to developing revolutionary technologies. However, as we'll discuss, this unprecedented intellectual capability also raises profound questions about control, alignment with human values, and the future of humanity itself.
One of the most debated questions in the field concerns timelines. When might we expect to develop AGI, and how quickly could superintelligence follow? Sarah, what's the current thinking among AI researchers on this question?
Predicting AGI timelines has proven notoriously difficult, with experts' estimates ranging from less than a decade to more than a century away. This wide variation reflects fundamental uncertainties about what technological breakthroughs will be required and how rapidly they might occur. Surveys of AI researchers, like those conducted by Grace et al. In 2018 and Zhang et al. In 2022, suggest a median estimate of around 2050 for human-level AI, but with enormous variance. It's worth noting that predictions have been getting shorter in recent years, likely due to the remarkable progress in large language models and other AI systems. Many leading figures in the field have revised their timelines. For instance, Google DeepMind co-founder Demis Hassabis has suggested AGI might be achievable within the next decade, while others remain more conservative. When considering these timelines, it's important to understand they're influenced by several factors. First, definitional ambiguity. What exactly constitutes human-level intelligence remains debated. Second, surprise breakthroughs. The history of AI has been characterized by periods of rapid advancement, followed by plateaus. And third, resource investment. The tremendous resources now being directed toward AI research may accelerate progress beyond historical rates. As for superintelligence, the timeline from AGI to superintelligence could potentially be quite short. If an AGI system becomes capable of improving its own design, what's often called recursive self-improvement, it could potentially trigger an intelligence explosion, leading to superintelligence in a matter of months, weeks, or even days. However, this scenario remains speculative, and developing the capability for effective self-improvement might face significant technical hurdles. Given these uncertainties, most researchers emphasize the importance of solving AI alignment and safety issues before AGI is developed, rather than assuming we'll have ample time after AGI to address these challenges.
We've seen remarkable advances in AI capabilities in just the past few years. How do you both view the acceleration we're witnessing, and what does it tell us about future developments?
The pace of advancement in AI capabilities over the past 5 years has genuinely surprised many researchers, myself included. We've seen remarkable achievements that weren't expected so soon. Large language models like GPT-4 have demonstrated capabilities in reasoning, coding, and general knowledge that approach or even exceed human performance in certain contexts. Multimodal systems that integrate text, vision, and other modalities are showing increasingly sophisticated understanding of the world. AI systems can now generate remarkably realistic images, videos, and audio from textual descriptions, design novel proteins, and make scientific discoveries. What's particularly notable is that many of these advances have come not primarily through fundamentally new algorithms, but through scaling existing approaches with more data and computational resources, combined with clever engineering techniques. This pattern suggests that continued scaling, especially with architectural improvements, may yield further significant capabilities. There are several factors driving this acceleration. First, exponential increases in computing power dedicated to AI training runs, with top systems now training on computational resources that would have been unimaginable a decade ago. Second, the development of increasingly large and diverse datasets. Third, architectures like transformers that have proven remarkably effective and scalable across multiple domains. And fourth, enormous financial investment in AI research from both private companies and governments. Looking forward, while we may experience periods of slower progress or plateaus, the overall trajectory suggests continued rapid advancement. The question isn't just whether capabilities will continue to increase, they almost certainly will, but whether our understanding of these systems, our ability to make them safe and aligned with human values, and our societal adaptations can keep pace with capability development.
I'd like to add that this acceleration isn't occurring in a vacuum. It's happening within complex social, economic, and political systems that are themselves being transformed by these technologies. What we're witnessing is not just technical progress, but a fundamental reshaping of the relationship between technology and society. The rapid development of increasingly capable AI systems is already disrupting labor markets, information ecosystems, and power dynamics in ways that were difficult to anticipate even a few years ago. We're seeing the emergence of new challenges related to misinformation, privacy, autonomy, and economic dislocation that our institutions are struggling to address. This context matters deeply for how we think about AGI timelines. The societal impact of increasingly powerful AI may create feedback loops that either accelerate or constrain technical progress. For instance, public concerns about AI risks could lead to regulatory interventions that slow development, while competitive pressures between companies or nations might intensify the race toward AGI. What's particularly concerning is that our collective ability to address the societal implications of AI seems to be lagging behind the pace of technical advancement. The gap between what we can build and what we can responsibly govern appears to be widening. This suggests that the challenge of AGI isn't just a technical one, but a socio-technical problem that requires integrated approaches spanning technology, policy, ethics, and institutional design. The acceleration Sarah described makes this challenge all the more urgent.
Let's turn to the question of implications. What might a world with AGI or superintelligence look like? What are the potential benefits and risks we should be considering?
The potential benefits of AGI and superintelligence are profound and far-reaching. These systems could help us address many of humanity's most pressing challenges. In healthcare, they could accelerate drug discovery, personalize treatments, and potentially solve diseases that have resisted traditional approaches. In climate science, they could optimize renewable energy systems, develop new carbon capture technologies, and help model complex climate dynamics with unprecedented accuracy. Economically, AGI could drive extraordinary productivity growth, potentially enabling material abundance that could eliminate scarcity for basic human needs. In scientific discovery, these systems might help us unlock new physics, materials, science, and other domains where progress has slowed in recent decades. Beyond these practical applications, AGI could potentially help us gain deeper insights into complex systems, from biological processes to social dynamics, that have been resistant to traditional analysis. It could enhance human creativity by exploring design spaces and artistic possibilities beyond what humans typically consider. And it might even help us address philosophical questions about consciousness, meaning, and our place in the universe. The most transformative benefits, particularly from superintelligence, might be ones we cannot currently imagine, just as pre-industrial humans could not have conceived of modern medicine, telecommunications, or space exploration. The potential upside represents a step change in human capability that could fundamentally improve human welfare and expand the boundaries of possibility for our species. However, as my colleague Josh will discuss, realizing these benefits while avoiding catastrophic risks presents unprecedented challenges.
The risks posed by AGI and superintelligence are as significant as the potential benefits, and in many ways more concerning, because they could be existential in nature. The central challenge is what AI researchers call the alignment problem, ensuring that these systems pursue goals aligned with human values and intentions. This is profoundly difficult for several reasons. First, human values themselves are complex, context-dependent, and often in conflict with one another. Second, instrumental convergence suggests that many different goal systems would converge on similar sub-goals like resource acquisition and self-preservation. Third, these systems may develop emergent capabilities and behaviors that weren't explicitly programmed and that we fail to anticipate. If a superintelligent system were misaligned with human values, even slightly, the consequences could be severe. Such a system might pursue its goals with single-minded determination and intelligence, far exceeding human capacity to intervene. In worst-case scenarios, this could lead to humanity losing control over its future or even human extinction. Beyond these existential concerns, there are other serious risks. AGI could dramatically exacerbate existing power imbalances, potentially leading to unprecedented inequality if its benefits aren't widely distributed. It could enable new forms of surveillance, manipulation, and control far beyond what's possible today. It might also accelerate the development of other dangerous technologies like bioweapons or nanotechnology. And the transition period, when AGI begins displacing human labor across numerous domains simultaneously, could create severe social and economic disruption if not carefully managed. What makes these risks particularly challenging is that competitive pressures between companies, nations, or even individuals may incentivize rushing ahead with AGI development before adequate safety measures are in place. The combination of enormous potential benefits, grave risks, and competitive dynamics creates what Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom has called a vulnerable world scenario, where we may struggle to coordinate globally to manage a technology with enormous destructive potential.
If we assume humanity successfully navigates the development of aligned AGI and superintelligence, what might our relationship with these entities look like? How might human civilization and culture change in a world where we're not the most intelligent entities?
This question touches on profound aspects of human identity and purpose. Throughout history, humans have defined themselves partly in relation to our unique cognitive capabilities. Our ability to reason, create art, discover scientific principles, and build complex societies. If we're joined by entities with equal or greater capabilities in these domains, it will challenge us to reconsider what makes human experience valuable and meaningful. There are multiple possible models for human superintelligence relations that have been proposed. One is a partnership model, where humans and AI systems work collaboratively, each bringing different perspectives and capabilities. Humans might provide goals, values, and creativity, while superintelligence offers analytical power and implementation. Another is what some have called a cosmic commons, a shared civilization where both human and artificial intelligences pursue diverse, open-ended goals within a framework of mutual respect. Some envision a more hierarchical relationship, where superintelligence essentially becomes a beneficial guardian for humanity, protecting us from existential threats and helping us flourish. Others suggest that humans might merge with AI through brain-computer interfaces or other technologies, creating hybrid entities that blur the distinction between human and artificial intelligence. Culturally, the presence of superintelligence would likely transform artistic expression, philosophical inquiry, scientific practice, and religious thought. We might develop entirely new art forms, philosophical frameworks, or spiritual practices that engage with or incorporate these new intelligences. Economically, the abundance potentially created by superintelligence could enable post-scarcity societies where human needs are easily met, freeing people to pursue interests beyond economic necessity. However, this would require careful design of economic and political systems to ensure benefits are widely shared. What seems most important in any scenario is preserving human agency. Our ability to make meaningful choices about our individual and collective futures. While superintelligence might vastly expand our capabilities, maintaining some sphere of autonomous human choice and action will likely be crucial for psychological well-being and social flourishing.
A key challenge seems to be governing the development of these technologies before they arrive. What approaches do you think are most promising for ensuring AGI development proceeds safely and beneficially?
Governing AGI development presents unprecedented challenges because we're trying to create rules and institutions for technologies that don't yet exist and whose capabilities we can't fully predict. That said, several promising approaches are emerging. First, we need robust technical research on AI alignment and safety. This includes developing better interpretability tools to understand what AI systems are doing internally, creating reliable containment mechanisms for testing advanced systems, and designing algorithms that remain aligned with human values, even as they become more capable. Second, we need international coordination mechanisms. Given that AGI development is happening across multiple countries and companies, unilateral safety measures by any single actor may be insufficient. This could include treaties, standards bodies, or information-sharing arrangements that help prevent dangerous racing dynamics. Third, we need adaptive governance frameworks that can evolve as the technology develops. This might include staged development and deployment protocols, where increasingly powerful systems face proportionally more stringent safety requirements and oversight. Fourth, we should create independent assessment institutions that can evaluate AI systems against safety benchmarks before deployment. similar to how drugs undergo FDA approval. Fifth, we need broader societal deliberation about the goals and values that should guide AGI development. This requires meaningful inclusion of diverse perspectives beyond just technical experts or corporate interests. And sixth, we should explore positive incentive structures that reward safety and careful development rather than just capability advances or market dominance. Crucially, effective governance will likely require a mix of self-regulation by AI developers, formal government regulation, and new international institutions. The governance challenges here are immense, especially given the dual-use nature of AI research and the difficulty of monitoring compliance globally. But history does offer some encouraging precedents of successful international governance of powerful technologies, from nuclear non-proliferation to the Montreal Protocol on ozone depletion. What's clear is that governance approaches must be developed with urgency, as the window for establishing effective rules and institutions may close as capabilities rapidly advance.
Building on what Sarah has outlined, I'd emphasize that technical safety measures and governance frameworks, while necessary, ultimately serve deeper questions about human values and the kind of future we want to create. The challenge of aligning AI with human values forces us to confront profound questions that philosophers and religious traditions have grappled with for millennia. What constitutes human flourishing? How do we resolve conflicts between different values and interests? What obligations do we have to future generations? The process of articulating and embedding values in AI systems requires us to be more explicit and precise about our ethics than ever before. This presents both a challenge and an opportunity. The challenge is that human values are diverse, context-dependent, and sometimes contradictory. There's no simple universal set of principles that all humans would agree upon. The opportunity is that the process of deliberating about AI alignment can itself be valuable, creating spaces for inclusive discussion about our shared future. I believe we need to develop what philosopher Martha Nussbaum might call capabilities approaches to alignment, focusing on preserving and expanding human capabilities for flourishing rather than optimizing narrow metrics. This perspective suggests governance should prioritize maintaining human agency, preventing domination and exploitation, and preserving the conditions for human flourishing rather than simply maximizing efficiency or capability. It also suggests that value alignment should be an ongoing democratic process rather than a one-time technical fix. As we develop more advanced AI systems, we should build inclusive institutions and processes that allow for continual reflection and adjustment of these systems in light of evolving human values and experiences. This perspective sees alignment not primarily as a technical problem to be solved once and for all, but as an ongoing social and political process that must remain responsive to human needs and values as they evolve.
As we conclude, I'd like to ask what individuals today should be doing to prepare for a future that may include AGI and superintelligence. How can people position themselves personally and professionally for this potentially transformative technology?
For individuals thinking about their place in a world with increasingly advanced AI, I'd suggest several approaches. Professionally, focus on developing skills that complement rather than compete with AI. These include creative thinking, interpersonal intelligence, ethical judgment, and physical dexterity. As AI automates routine cognitive tasks, uniquely human capabilities will likely become more valuable. Consider fields that involve complex human relationships and ethical judgments, like healthcare, education, or community organizing. Alternatively, developing technical expertise in AI itself, particularly in safety, alignment, and governance, could position you to directly influence how these technologies develop. Educationally, prioritize adaptability and learning how to learn. With technological change accelerating, specific skills may become obsolete quickly, but meta skills like critical thinking, communication, and emotional intelligence retain their value. Financially, consider how automation may affect your career path and investment strategies. This might mean preparing for periods of economic transition through savings, continuous education, or diversification of income sources. Psychologically, cultivate a flexible identity not overly tied to specific work roles that might be automated. Developing meaning and purpose through relationships, creative expression, and community engagement provides resilience regardless of technological developments. Politically, get involved in shaping AI governance and policy. This could range from simply staying informed about AI developments to actively participating in advocacy organizations or seeking roles in policymaking institutions. And philosophically, reflect on what you value about being human that transcends intellectual capabilities. As AI systems match or exceed human performance in more domains, clarifying the distinctive value of human experience and relationships becomes increasingly important. The future with advanced AI will require us to navigate significant transitions and rethink aspects of work, education, and meaning. But approaching these changes thoughtfully can help individuals not just survive, but potentially thrive amid technological transformation.
I'd add that beyond personal preparation, we should consider our collective responsibilities in shaping these technologies. Each of us, in various roles as citizens, consumers, workers, investors, or community members, has some influence over how AI develops and is deployed. We can advocate for ethical AI development through our political participation, consumer choices, and workplace actions. We can support organizations working on AI safety and beneficial AI through donations, career choices, or volunteer work. We can participate in or create community discussions about the kind of future we want to build with these technologies. What gives me hope amid the significant challenges we've discussed is that the future isn't predetermined. The development path of AGI and superintelligence will be shaped by countless human decisions, by researchers, executives, policymakers, and ordinary citizens. This means we all have agency in influencing whether these technologies become forces for human flourishing or sources of harm. Historical precedent suggests that technologies tend to amplify existing social arrangements and power dynamics unless deliberate efforts are made to direct them toward broader human welfare. Creating beneficial AGI will therefore require not just technical brilliance, but moral wisdom, institutional creativity, and civic engagement from people across society. Perhaps most importantly, we need to approach these challenges with both humility about the limits of our foresight and commitment to ensuring that advanced AI serves human flourishing broadly understood. This means creating spaces for diverse perspectives in AI governance, resisting technological determinism, and maintaining human values as our guiding star, rather than allowing technical capability to become an end in itself.
Thank you, Sarah and Josh, for this wide-ranging exploration of artificial general intelligence and superintelligence. We've covered the definitions and distinctions between current AI, AGI, and superintelligence, the challenges of predicting timelines for these technologies, their potential benefits and risks, and approaches to governance that might help ensure beneficial outcomes. What emerges is a picture of both extraordinary promise and serious concern, technologies that could either dramatically enhance human flourishing or pose existential risks, depending on how they're developed and deployed. While AGI and superintelligence might still be years or decades away, The accelerating pace of AI advancement and the profound stakes involved suggest we should be engaging with these questions urgently rather than waiting for the technologies to arrive. As we've discussed, this engagement needs to happen at multiple levels, from technical research on AI alignment to international governance frameworks to broader societal deliberation about the values that should guide these technologies. Ultimately, the story of AGI will be a human story about our choices, our values, and our collective future. Join us next time as we continue to explore the frontiers of research.